Hello friends, welcome to our new show. I am Nikhil Sablania presenting this show on the thoughts of Dr. Ambedkar ji, a very important thought, a very important principle which still so many people discuss it, so many people don't understand it, so many people are against it, so many people are in favor of it. We have debates in parliament, we have debates in public places, the concept, the principle of secularism. So today I am going to discuss with you that what Dr. Ambedkar think about the word, about the principle of secularism, and what this secularism is about, and how it is different from the religious dogma. And this reference which I am going to give you is from his writings and speeches, volume number 3 and on page 9. But before I go to his actual words, I will tell you an interesting classical debate which he discusses on the very first page of his book. This book, which was published posthumous, was titled Philosophy of Hinduism. It starts with the philosophy of religion. And in that, on the very first page, he gives a reference of a classical debate, that the debate between a philosopher and a theologian. So he says that a theologian blames a philosopher, that a philosopher is like a blind man who is searching for a black cat in a dark room, and a philosopher blames on the theologian, that the theologian is like a blind man searching for a black cat in a dark room, and he declares that he has found the cat. So this classical debate which he gives shows the difference between a philosopher and a theologian. But here we are going to understand what is secularism. Now, about the secularism, what is it? That is important, and how this classical debate is going to guide us, on our discourse of secularism. We know that in our preamble of the Constitution of India, of our beloved Constitution, we have put this word secularism. Many people are in favor of it, many people are in against of it. But actually, do they really understand what is secularism? Some people think that because India is having a majority of the people following Hindu religion, so the word secularism is stopping them from their own belief, that their religious belief, and it is supporting the other belief, that is the belief of Muslims. I don't know what's the view of Muslims, but at the same time, when we say that our constitution is secular, it has a wide meaning, but at the same time it also gives the freedom for everyone, for each person to practice his or her own religion. So now let us understand first that what is secularism, then how it is important for Indian society, and how it is giving, it's also giving, it means constitution, not secularism. Constitution is also giving freedom to practice all the religious beliefs. Now what is secularism? I will give the reference from the book, but the classical debate which I have spoken just now, the debate between the philosopher and theologian, guides us to understand what is secularism. So the debate says that a philosopher, if goes to a blind philosopher, is like a blind man. If he goes to a dark room and trying to find a black cat, okay, he's trying to find a black cat. It means that he's trying to find something. He is blind, the room is dark, it means he can't see. So this acquisition of a philosopher is like you trying to search something which is not there, or you are trying to create something which is not there. But at the same time, the philosopher says, you theologian, you are also like me, but moreover that, you are not like a just like a blind man in a dark room finding a black cat, but also you declare. It means I am trying to find something, but you declare something. which is not there. At least I am blind. Okay, I am trying to find something. Now, this difference is the difference between the religious view and the scientific view. For the sciences, they have discovered so many things which, for a theologian, for a religious person, might not be there. But he found, the scientists inquired, they did research, they did testing, they did whatever they wanted to do, and they found things. We have seen so many new things discovered from the same mother nature which were not there before, which were there before but not found there. But the religious people with their dogmas. Now, what is dogma? That's important to understand. A dogma is a belief which is inconvertible, a belief which you can't change, a belief which would remain stationary, and not only stationary, a belief which you follow. So you can't question it, it would remain stationary, and you have to follow. Now, that belief is like the classical example of the theologian which the philosopher gives. It's like there is a cat, you're a blind in a dark room finding a black cat, and you declare it. It means at least I am a blind man in a dark room trying to find a cat. So I am trying to catch, I am trying to get the something from something, but you at the same position you don't find anything and you declare something. So this means you declare without any evidence. So that is the main difference between the religious thinking and the theologian thinking, and the scientific thinking. The religious thinking says whatever I say is true because our forefathers have said this, so this will remain this would everything, the thinking remains stationary. But at the same time the scientist says or the philosopher says, see, there could be some other thing, let us go and try and find. Now I hope that it is clear that what is a religious thinking and what is a non-religious thinking, that is scientific thinking. So this non-religious thinking is the scientific thinking, and that is a secular thinking, a thinking which would not give a space to the dogmas. Now coming to our beloved country having the two different religions followed by majority of the people, Hinduism and Buddhism, and also we have Jainism, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism and Islam, and other religions. Now though Hindus blame that because of this word secular we are not able to follow our own religious beliefs. But what are the religious beliefs? Are they different from the religious beliefs of other people? No, all are same, all are dogmas, either from Hinduism or Islam. They all are dogmas in the sense that whatever their religion says are fixed, are stationary, are unchangeable, unchallengeable, unchangeable, inconvertible. You cannot challenge them. So this mindset is same irrespective of the title of the religion. You might call a religion Islam or Hindu or Jain or Christianity or even Buddhism or Parsi. Whatever name you give, dogma remains the same. But here is one thing about Buddhism and my learning of the Lord Buddha, his teachings, that though we consider the Renaissance period of the West as the time when a secular thinking, that is, a scientific thinking, emerged, the thinking that questioned the unchallengeable, though that thinking emerged at that time. But in my opinion, that thinking emerged long before that time, long before Christianity appeared, at the time of Buddha and Mahavir. Both of them questioned the dogmas of religion, and it was their question, it was their questioning, it was their challenge that gave a rebirth, that renaissance of our Asia that they gave, and particularly due to the efforts of Siddhartha Gautam, the Shakya Muni Buddha. I call him Shakya Muni so that people outside India, people in China, they call him Shakya Muni. Shakya Muni. So the Shakya Muni, the Muni of the Maharishi of Shakya clan, Lord Buddha, he actually questioned those dogmas, and that is why many people call him atheist, but he was not. Now there is another aspect. This is a duality you will find in Buddhism when you go to the texts, that he was not an atheist, but he questioned. Now that same thinking is given in our constitution. Our constitution says that India will be a secular country, but we will give you a freedom to practice and believe in what you believe. That is your religious beliefs. So this is not a duality. We will remain secular through the government. This means government will not consider any religious belief in its policies, in its principle, in its distribution of resources, in the opportunities it provides. We will not consider any religious belief. For a religious belief of one people of one religion, they might consider themselves as superior, and people of other religion might consider them as superior to each other. But we will not consider that. We will consider all human beings scientifically that they are all human beings, irrespective of their belief, whatever belief in religion they have. So that was also a kind of the statement of the Lord Buddha, that he questioned the dogmas, he challenged them at some aspect, but there were some other things which were like, I would call them like non-worldly things, like the concept of nirvana, which is a non-worldly thing, that he also included in his doctrine. Now let us come to the real text. Now what Dr. Ambedkar has said, he has written, and this is not the conclusive reference I am giving you. I found this reference, so I thought it's important to give you, but there could be plenty of references, plenty of citations he has given on secularism. But this one reference which he is giving, this one thing which he is giving, it is enough, I think, to understand what is secularism and why we are secular. So secularism is non-dogmatic thinking, non-religious thinking, scientific thinking is secular. Secular doesn't mean you are not allowed, you are allowed, but it will be your remain your personal, not the governmental, not the thinking of the state. Now this thing and this video is important because now there are some sections in the society which wanted to create a religious state. We have seen there are two religious states created from us. Pakistan, it was created and then divided further, and then another was formed, Bangladesh. Both of them were based on the religious ideologies. They have included some sections in their constitutions. I don't know about the constitution of Bangladesh, but in Pakistan, they have some sections, some articles which are based on the religious dogmas. At the same time, Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah also said that we would make a secular country. How he could make a secular country, that thing is challengeable now. But we are also following the same path of making it a religious, a Hindu religious state. Some sections, not all of them. I'm not going further into this approach, into this direction, but let us understand for this time that secularism means we will not consider religious dogmas of any religion, and we will keep our thinking scientific. So this example, this reference which Dr. Ambedkar ji was giving, he was giving on various issues which were dominated by religion, or he calls the empire of religion. So when it was destroyed, by the Copernicus or by the Darwin, then our beliefs started changing. So he says, now there are many things, but just consider one line. Just trying to understand this one line is enough to give an idea that why he preferred a secularism. The process of secularization is not only welcomed by scientists for making civilization as distinguished from culture possible, even religious men and women. So what he says that not only scientists welcome the process of secularization, the process of secularization when it started at the time of Copernicus, then Darwin, and then further scientific thinking. So he says that not only scientists welcome this process of secularization, but also religious men and women have come to feel that much of what theology taught was unnecessary and a mere hindrance to the religious life, and that this chopping off its wild growth was a welcome process. So, also the religious people thought that it was a hindrance to the religious life and this chopping off of the wild growth. So they call it, he calls it, like they also thought that religious thinking, the religious dogma has gone wild. I mean, because in the primitive society, in the savage society, religious religion took control of all the things. So whether how you look at the Hindu society, today is Ekadashi, this auspicious day, next day is another auspicious day. You do not sleep like this, you do not eat like this, you do not behave like this, you don't move your leg, you eat this thing on that day, you eat this thing on that day. And it's not only about Hindus also, about Muslims also. My friend, one day he was walking with me and a Muslim guy came, he was going to namaz, and he stopped him and he said, you are not coming for namaz. So my friend said, see, this kind of pressure he is putting, I believe in the Allah, but okay, I'm not going to masjid at this time, I'm doing some other work. So this is an example of dogmas. Accusing I'm not putting any accusation on any religion, but what I am trying to say, and this, like, so when we are saying about our constitution that we don't want secular thinking, so going are we moving into this wild growth which Dr. Ambedkar calls a wild growth of the thoughts? It's wild, it's not scientific. You don't know anything, but you believe. So like the example I gave, and the example he gave from in the very beginning of this chapter, on the very first page of his book, the classical story of the philosopher and the theologian, that a philosopher though tries to find a black cat in a dark room, and even if he's a blind, but a theologian, a religion person, declares under same circumstances even if it is not there. So this declaration is very dangerous. I tell you one example from Pakistan. Pakistan made a law that if someone says any bad things, I am not getting the exact word for that, so that person should be sentenced to death, I think. And I think later on, recently they have, I'm not sure, but they have changed it to not to death penalty for death, but for life imprisonment. Now, what happened that there was a religious person from the party of Imran Khan. He was a religious Muslim clergy. So they say that never compare a human being with Allah, their God. Now that person was giving a speech in public praising Imran Khan, and under that movement of euphemism, he compared him with Allah. Though he was a clergy, he was serving his religion, he was serving Allah for a long time, but some people took notice of that and they blamed him that you have done blasphemy. I think this is called blasphemy, that you have done blasphemy. They beaten him and they killed him there only. There was another incident of the same nature, and we know that recently a man is murdered, a Frenchman was murdered for making a caricature of Prophet Muhammad. So they killed him and everyone says it's good thing. Likewise in other religions also. We know in Hinduism also there had been dogmas by caste system. They formed the dogmas of caste system. In Hinduism we have seen recently, and in the past also, lesser in the recently, but in the past, that human sacrifices were very common. Now we see find some incidents, and many people, many rich people, many well-learned Hindus also go secretly and do these ceremonial things. So because of religious dogmas, we have there was a case in Delhi, very infamous, the Buradi mass suicide case. So the family believed that God would save them if they hanged themselves. And under this dogma of belief, the whole family got themselves killed. So there are immense examples. There was a dogma that first child should be thrown to Ganga among Hindus. And most of the people from the suppressed classes, suppressed castes, they this dogma was put on them. And some people say that the first child is more intelligent, more powerful, so it was made so that the next most powerful and most intelligent person would be killed. It was a strategy by other dominating classes. So are we going to enter into that dogma, into the world of that dogma? This is the question we should ask from ourselves. We have a guiding principle from Dr. Ambedkar ji, from his own writings, that we should stay and move on the process of secularization, that is, the non religious or non dogmatic thinking, that is, the scientific thinking, that is, the fact finding. Go and find the facts. And no doubt that human beings have achieved a great milestones when they went on this path. Most of our scientific developments have taken place through this path. Look at our population 200 years ago, 300 years ago, and look at the population now. It has increased immensely because of the scientific discoveries, because of the scientific thinking we applied not only in the medicine but also in the other areas of our lives. Like we stopped polio in many countries, we stopped spread of malaria in many countries. Recently, we stopped a pandemic, COVID-19. We stopped so many pandemics. We stopped so many medical sicknesses by the our secular thinking, that is non-religious thinking. So earlier, whenever there was some problem, people used to take that person to the religious person in the medical, in the health sector. But we got all new medicines, drugs, surgical therapies, all those things. Even we applied that or scientific thinking to psychology also. So we have moved a lot only because of this secular thinking. So now it's the time we should stick, and as a guiding force of India, and not only of India, of the world, because Dr. Ambedkar ji was such a great person. with such a great knowledge, a man of action and a man of words, a man of wisdom. He is guiding us and we consider his guidance. We know recently that if it is true, like a day will be celebrated as a Dr. Ambedkar's Day on 14th April in New York. Also, the city of the mayors of the city of New York has declared this, and he has already been awarded by the Columbia University as one of the most brilliant student in 100 years. So he, as a guiding principle, giving us guidance, the father of Indian Constitution, the father of modern India, he is. So we should stick to secularism and we should understand. Now I hope that now there are no doubts to understand what is secularism. Secularism means a scientific thinking and not do not believe in the religious dogmas. So dear friends, this is Nikhil Sablania presenting this special program for you from Delhi. And but these things to study, to do research, to work takes a lot of time and effort and resources. So please do contribute to our efforts. I request you to pledge for an yearly commitment. Those who could afford, please commit at least between 10,000 rupee to 1 lakh or more for an annual contribution, annual commitment. We wanted to translate the books of Dr. Ambedkar. This book, if we will translate along with an explanation, it would cost us around 5 lakh rupee. So please give us that money, those who are able to contribute, and I know there are many people who are able to contribute. And if you want to buy this book, you can go to our website nspmart.com, nspmart.com. Along with that, a humble request from me that please do save our numbers so that we can send you notifications and messages regarding our books and our newest videos. Our three numbers are 85275333051, 85275333051, and 88511 88511 Another number which is only for WhatsApp is 84479131116. And please do send us a message. Unless until we won't get your message, we won't be able to save your number. And when you send us message, please do save our number and send a message Jai Bhim or hi at least to us. I hope all of you have not only just enjoyed this video but also understood the word secular from the writings of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar ji. The name of this book is Philosophy of Hinduism. So you can go to our website NSP Mart, and there are sets of the books of Dr. Ambedkar ji, his writings, his speeches, his books, and on his life we have books, a set of books by him in English, in Hindi also. They cost like 10-12,000, and then there are set of books which includes his writings, his books, and books on his life and his other works. That is like 25,000 rupee, and they are Buddhist books. And we also have some books by the contemporary writers, contemporary Ambedkarite writers. So thank you very much for watching this. This is Nikhil Sablania presenting you. I would be obliged if you consider my requests to support us. Thank you very much.